Hey, happy Halloween! And it's gonna be a little bit of a playtime. I have a craving for a fun sandwich, and I had one more chicken breast in my freezer and some rolls and a bunch of roasted garlic and basil and Parmesan cheese and butter. And we're gonna do a chicken parm garlic bread sandwich. And it's gonna be good, and let's do it. We're gonna start with some softened butter. And now comes our roasted garlic. And I like a lot of it. Plus, I gotta use it up. I've been kicking around my refrigerator for a while. And just to add a little extra garlickiness to it, I'm gonna use some garlic powder. And we will start by smashing these together with a fork. Our roasted garlic and butter are all smashed together. And now we're gonna sprinkle in some chopped fresh basil. It's gonna give it a little color, a little Italian flavor. And now comes some grated Parmigiano cheese. I think that'll be enough. And we're gonna keep on smashing. Our garlic butter is all ready to go, smelling great, and it's gonna be tasting great. This is one big fat chicken breast, so we're going to slice it in half and pound it out so it makes a nice thin cutlet. First thing we're gonna do is slice it in half the long way. Looks like a heart shape. That wasn't in the plan, but anyway, I gotta make sure that it's on the plastic, and then we're gonna cover it up with another piece of plastic so the chicken stuff doesn't fly all over the kitchen. And now we're gonna start pounding. Gonna take a bit. Our chicken breast is all pounded out, nice and even and thin. And now we're going to cut it into pieces that are going to fit on our rolls. But I'm going to get rid of these. Okay. I think we'll do thirds. And then in half again. So we'll have several pieces that are about this size. And before we bread these chickens, we're going to season them up with some salt and pepper. Okay, now as you can see, our breading station is set up and we're gonna bread them. Okay, first thing we do is flour. A nice even dredge. Then into the eggs, and with the other hand, coat that well. Let the excess drip off into the breadcrumbs and back to the dry hand. I like to put the crumbs on top, then I don't have to touch the wet chicken. I just touch the crumbs. Press them around the edges, then you can turn it over and press again. I'm not crazy about breading things, but I like breaded things, so I do it a lot. Now we're gonna continue on with the rest of our chicken. We've got some canola oil heating up in a skillet, and we are going to attempt to cook our breaded chicken breasts. Not quite ready yet. We made it, and now we're sizzling up a bit. And when the edges of these start to turn brown, then we're gonna flip them over and cook the other side. I don't know if you can see from there, but we're starting to get a little brown around the edges, so now it's time to flip these guys over. Oh, nice. Okay, these are just about ready. And then we're going to remove them from the pan and I think drain them on some paper towels. I'm not sure. Actually, no, I think we'll leave the grease on them. While our chicken is finishing up, we're going to start prepping our rolls. I'm going to cut the ends off and then slice them down the middle. And then we're going to spread the insides of these rolls with some of our garlic butter and lightly toast them in the oven before we build our sandwiches. That's going to add some nice flavor. Time for our beautifully browned chicken cutlets to come out of this pan. So crispy and delicious. And you're just going to set them aside for now. But they smell fab, and they're gonna taste fab. Our rolls are garlic buttered up, and I'm putting them in at 350 for about probably 7 to 10 minutes to just lightly toast them. Our rolls are out of the oven. I'm gonna spread the bottoms with just a little bit of red sauce. And then we're going to find the best fitting chicken pieces to go on our rolls. They're going to be sticking out a little bit, but that's okay, because these are going to be super delicious. Our chicken cutlets are down, and here comes a little bit more red sauce over top of them. Our sauce is on. This pan's still a little hot. Woo, put her down. And now we're gonna top with some mozzarella cheese. I only have shredded in the house. For these sandwiches, sliced probably would work better. And we'll have a little overflow of this mozzarella. If I do it two-handed, I might be able to neaten it up a bit. Like so. Our cheese is down, and now we're going to put the tops on our sandwiches. I'm going to press them down just a little bit. Clean up some of this excess cheese. Set them up. And here comes the fun part. We are going to spread our bread tops with some additional garlic butter. The garlic butter is on, and the final finish is going to be just, and I know that garlic butter already has Parmesan cheese in it. We're just going to give a little sprinkle of this cheese just a tiny little bit, because when we finish this, that's going to brown it up a bit. But before we do, and that's going to be plenty, one more step before we go in the oven. Because these are going to cook for a while, I want to cover them up. And me, I have a personal thing about aluminum foil touching my food. So I'm going to put a piece of parchment on, and then we're going to cover this with foil. Just lightly temp it. We are ready to go into the oven for about 15 minutes. Our chicken parm sandwiches in their initial cooking phase are out of the oven. And now they're going back in for a few minutes to brown up and butter up. The cheese is melted, the chicken is heated through, and they're gonna look just great when they're done. Our chicken parm garlic bread sandwiches are out of the oven, and they look fantastic and smell fantastic. And now let's see what they look like on the inside. Here we are on a plate, and here's what we look like on the inside. Chickeny, cheesy, a little bit saucy, some nice garlic butter on the top. It's getting all over my hands, but looks delicious, smells delicious, and it's going to make a great meal. Thank you for joining me while I played with some of my on-hand ingredients and leftover ingredients to make these lovely chicken parm garlic bread sandwiches. And this is too big for me to take a bite on camera, but I'll let you know. I think when I eat this, this is how I'm going to do it. Cut them into smaller pieces so they're easier to bite into. And that's the way we're going to eat them. And we will see you again soon.